Howdy guys, Attorney Walter Hnot. Let's get right into this. But first, please remember, if you like these videos, like and subscribe. And then also, if you could, leave 5-star reviews. It's super duper important because those help me be competitive on a much larger market. Now let's get right into this video. This is the video about Social Security benefits for February in 2023. And what we're going to be answering is essentially what's the good news that's been coming out. We're going to go through the details of what's been published in the news, things that aren't being said that are actually occurring. We're going to be focusing on retirement, Social Security disability insurance benefits, supplemental security income benefits, basically your widow's benefits, survivor's benefits, disabled adult children benefits, and also auxiliary benefits. Let's get right into it. An amazing thing has started to churn in the ethos of Social Security benefits. Normally, Social Security benefits would only be whispered if there was a potential to gain political favor and votes, right? We just wouldn't hear about it. However, in February of 2023, we are seeing what truly motivates these politicians to open up and discuss what is most important about Social Security benefits. Now, around mid-2022, I did a video about at this, some future point that this would happen, that this was an important turning point. And February of 2023 is that actual turning point. I don't think it was going to be this fast. I thought we were going to see this a lot closer to the 2024 to 2025 presidential election. But it's actually happening now, which is very interesting. And I don't know what's going to happen as a result of it. All right, here's what you need to know. Those things that are basically the most important aspects of Social Security benefits are popping up in the news regularly. Those are, number one, longevity of Social Security benefits. Number two, maximum payout potential of Social Security benefits. Number three, preparing for unexpected harm that could come for Social Security benefits. Number four, bringing news to light that is truthful and honest for the future of Social Security benefits. Number five, educating people about the benefits, the 90% of Americans that will rely on those benefits during their lifetime. Those are the major things that are expected to come out during February that are going to be highlighted and pushed by politicians. Now, these are the top of lists for every executive politician in America right now. The reason why it's interesting, we know that there are problems, and we know that they are so big that the full faith and credit of the United States, right? So remember when you used to think, wow, this is backed by the U.S. government. This is backed by the biggest, richest entity on earth. Well, we now know that that thing, that massive trillion-dollar monster, is not big enough under the current model to be able to afford our retirement benefits. They don't have enough money because we don't make enough money that they can tax or borrow against for other nations like Japan and China. So whether it's a balloon or a laptop in a balloon, Social Security benefits are creeping upward into the three newsworthy points. These are the big ones. These are the ones that, really make all the difference. So Social Security benefits are the second strongest distraction topic. That's why the Democrats will usually whip it out when it comes to essentially fighting the Republicans. Now, granted, I'm going to solidify a small chunk here. The Democrats that whip it out are essentially those who are the, executives, always in the limelight Democrats. There are a significant amount of Democrats that never even make it on TV, that are, in my opinion, the true heroes of Social Security benefits. So if Social Security benefits are the second strongest distraction topic, which is number one, only war is stronger than Social Security benefits when it comes to distraction on the news. It's war, then Social Security benefits, then massive health crisis, then a death of a celebrity, and then the mega show on the streaming services, right? It comes out, everybody's got to watch it, everybody's got to be part of it. The whole thing is huge. We want to see it. Now, Social Security benefits are the lifeline for 66 million Americans, which is a shrinking number from just a couple of years ago. 90% of those people need the benefits or would face severe standard of living reductions. And we don't want that. That's not good. Now, politicians, and here's the tricky part of this. Howdy, by the way, Slatherings, Linda Soto, Amy Anderson, Rick Corrins, Wow Things, Patrick D. Howdy. So here's the deal. Politicians have no more wiggle room, right? Or fancy math tricks to fix the now short-term problem of retirement benefits, losing their overall payout capacity, right? We can't pay out 100%, so we'll have to pay out less. At this point, hard choices must be made. Put another way, politicians must remove more of an American's rights that they were given decades and decades ago. They do this because they know that they have, meaning the longest running, once again, I'm going to take a shot at some of these politicians. These longest running politicians that have run our country into this deep, dark hole that everybody needs to figure out at this point how to get out of. So for the politicians, if they could celebrate their existence, they would have reduced the retirement age, right? If we were to celebrate having them, if we were to really be in charge of their raises, right? If we were to be like, wow, they deserve that. What would have happened is that our retirement benefits would have switched from 67 retirement to 65 years retirement, which is what it was originally. And then we would be eyeing within the next 2 decades, lowering it to 63. Maybe in the next 30 years, that's a potential possible, but not with our current politicians. But no Americans, so here's the bottom line. Americans were never really the priority. They weren't the priority of this White House, nor were they at any point over the past 9 presidents a priority. So here's the ironic thing about February. I've looked back and started to study the history of Social Security, all of the omnibus this and the different rules that passed that and the things that changed other rules that somehow interacted with Social Security benefits that we didn't see as being a big Social Security change at the time, but then became this massive, massive thing. So you're not going to believe it. We basically have to go more than 9 presidents back to the 10th president. That's where the line in the sand is. That's the person who gave the most to the poorest of all of the Americans. That's the person who created, essentially, and I can't believe it myself, the benefit of last resort, which is like the true definition of Social Security, which is, of course, supplemental security income, which was created by Nixon. Mind-boggling. Nixon was a better president to the poor than Carter, Clinton, and Obama. You could add all the good deeds that Carter, Clinton, and Obama did together, and they would not reach the levels of the supplemental security income program that Nixon passed. Mind-boggling. So that's right, people. Our line in the sand of great Social Security programs being created or modified ends with the creation of SSI, the benefit of last resort, and that there has not been a president since then who has had the testicular fortitude to touch the third rail, being, of course, Social Security benefits. That's the reality of it. So now we're at February. February is very unique, and I am very pleased to be in February because February is kind of like the camel's back, the straw, a turning point, going over the knife's edge. This is February. February will give you the following discussions. Should there be a higher Social Security tax? Should there be an alternative option to invest these funds into the private market? Should people be able to opt into a reduced benefit by restricting who can attach to their benefits? Should people be able to pay less if they want to? Should we combine trust funds? Should we allow the politicians to be disingenuous to the point where social media websites must add context notations or false information tags? The news is that the Democrats are afraid of the popularity of the Republicans when it comes to economy arguments. That's the news. That's the biggest news. And it means a lot more than just economics. The fluff pieces on the economy and job creation aren't selling well right now from the White House. And people are more hungry with high food prices than they have ever been in their lifetime. The attacks against Republicans were incredibly useful and strong. They were just so well timed for the 2020 election and the 2022 midterms. They really worked at the point of what they intended to be effective at, right? And the whole point was to scare people, redirect attention, and make people believe that Republicans were absolutely going to destroy their benefits. Some Republicans, I can say, have ideas in mind about where the program needs to move, and they scare the hell out of me. But I need you to know this. If we don't start talking about it, we're never going to fix the program until it's too late. So here's the deal. These arguments against the Republicans were so strong that even McCarthy swore that to fund the government, because we reached our debt limit, they would not put Social Security benefits on the chop block. But February is unique. Mark my words, it is the tipping point on discussions of disability. What happened is that Americans are suffering and hearing cries of change which did not feed their stomachs. I don't say this with any bit of happiness. I say this with sadness because it appears to me, and it appears, in application, like what actually, what happens, okay? That the bravest and smartest Democrats, the best the Democratic Party has to offer, that these people, they never make the news. While the most outlandish, fun, beautiful, and established seem to always catch up with the lens glare every single time. So we have a small group of eyes that only these LeBron-style Democrats seem to exist within, where the media focuses completely, and just like calling somebody, a racist over and over and over again, the term has lost its deeper meaning. And that's what the Democrats were doing. They were basically calling the Republicans racists, but from a Social Security standpoint, which was to say the Democrats were saying the Republicans were going to end, ruin, dissolve, change, horrifically modify Social Security benefits. We now have Democrats screaming that the Republicans are going to end these benefits, but the jaded and hungry Americans have asked, how are they going to do it? How are the Republicans going to ruin their life? This is weird because we didn't have that before. People weren't asking that question. It didn't happen until the beginning of February. The truth is that both Republicans and Democrats need to fix a very big problem. And the only problem is that the slandering coming from one side or the other is only coming from a one-sided political movement. February is the month where Republicans will call it the Democrats for fixes. And this is the moment where the real Democrats, the ones who barely make it on the screen if they're lucky, will have their chance to sit down and figure out a forecasted plan for the future of Social Security benefits. This is the month where both parties can do what we pay them to do: to be brilliant, to be forward-thinking, and to think outside the box. Okay? Now, the government debt ceiling will compete with this. Because remember, we only have so much attention span. We can only see so much in the news. So the government debt ceiling will compete with this. Potential World War III is on the table as executives pass along the phrase of Russia and Ukraine becoming a wider war. The UN thinks it, the politicians think it, and the military is preparing for it by moving machinery. Climate change will pop up like a small buoy, but this month changes the camel's back of Social Security benefits. Democrats can't hide behind screams of Republicans ending benefits anymore. Republicans can't hide behind fear that they will be called a racist program ender anymore. This month changes the landscape. The Democrats lost their power, and the Republicans can't regain the good guy status, and they don't care anymore. Pence is pushing a Social Security reform that involves the private market. President Biden has been dinged on Twitter for spreading misinformation about Republicans and Social Security benefits. The press room of the SSA has been quiet since December 8th of 2022. Something big is about to happen. Something massive. And I'll be here, as always, to report on the news related to your Social Security benefits. Now remember, I'll catch you next time. I'm going to be doing another video live in about 10 minutes. It is incredibly important for you, if you enjoy these videos, to like and subscribe and leave 5-star reviews. I'll put a little thing in the chat section for it, and I'll put it in the comment section, and I will catch you guys at the next live, which will be in about 10 minutes. Have a wonderful, wonderful night, and I'll see you soon. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.